Time is on. Uh,
No, no.
uh, can you turn the timer on? I just started recording the same. Okay, so the topic for today is city versus village life. Ayush is supporting city life, and I'll be against. I will be supporting village life.
We'll start at 4:37. It shows there down. It's there on your screen, right?
What do you mean?
Clock is there, right? On bottom left
Oh,
of
there's
the
time.
Google Meet.
Yeah, yeah.
We'll start at 4:37 or 38.
Okay, I'm getting 12:09 here. Maybe you tell me when
Okay.
to
So
start.
sorry.
Yeah,
Okay, I'll tell.
3, 2, 1.
It's time.
Okay. Hmm.
Shall I start?
Yeah, I think you should start today.
Okay. So topic for today is city versus countryside. Where one should live. It depends from person to person, but there are, since I'm speaking in the favor of the living in the city side, I will like to share some points. Before that, I would also like to share some historical point, why living in the city side and why it is very important nowadays. Ever since globalization or industrialization, people are shifting from villages to the cities because cities provide them more job opportunities, better resources, uh, they could network with more people. All the resources are close by, and also living in the city means you have all the opportunities which indirectly will help us to boost the economy by creating more jobs, um, producing more outputs. Yeah.
Over to me. Okay.
Yeah.
Uh, okay. So today I'll be speaking in the favor of village, and the history has been testimony that whenever we have been talking about cities and industrialization and all the stuff, although it has many positive impacts, like as Ayush mentioned, but then considering our nature or Mother Earth, we are like very much destroying it. When we go into the, like, when cities have been expanded, like I have some points. One is pollution. Obviously in city life there is more transport, there is more there is more industrialization as such, and thus destroying the nature. Second point is in just a second. Second point is culture. In the village life, there is more cultural activities as compared to the city life, and thus I think if we are having more, if we are showing more connect towards villages, then there'll be more growth in the like cultural side, and there'll be good growth in the human mindset. Yeah. Third is there are many stuff like medicinal plants and all in the village, but the city side is mostly into the like chemical products and all. And thus my next point is fast food. Fast food, like in city side, people work hard, people try to cook by themselves, and thus they have a very healthier life. I would like to stress on this topic again. Village people are more healthier as compared to city people, because they are habitually very hardworking, and uh, yeah, this is one reason. Then six, in village there is respect to plants and animals. There are forests, there are there are trees, but in the other side, in the city, it is just a concrete jungle, and thus, like, we all know the importance of having plants and animals, and thus I feel village life is better. Seventh reason is there are many cases, like there are many such incidents where the people has like a villager has become a very great successful person. And I think having connect to a village means having connect to mother earth, and also to your roots get very stronger. uh, yeah, these are some of my points, and over to Ayush.
Yes, I would like to counter a few of your points. You mentioned that in villages, culture and people are very well connected, but which this is also possible in the city side areas also, because even if you are living in a colony, then usually in the colonies there are like colony events, then intra and inter colony events, and there are various sports activities where people can stay fit. I agree that like from your day-to-day activity you might not stay fit, but there are gyms and other fitness activities which are available in city areas. For example, someone who might be interested in rock climbing, villages might not be able to provide a good infrastructure for sports activities like rock climbing and other such sports, whereas in city we can have that. And about the fast food and home cooked food, your point, it's not necessary every people who live in the city eats fast food all every day. Everyone can learn to cook and can have a good meal. Also, recently there are many startups who promote having good food, and they deliver home cooked food to the city peoples. Like there is one common person who cooks the food and it gets delivered to all the people in the city areas. So yeah, these were few of my points.
To okay, one question which Ayush had right now is he mentioned that there are no good facilities like rock climbing all in villages as compared to cities. But I have a very a fact which is like in Goa itself, there is a place called Palolem, which is a village. There they have provided like rock climbing, and they are training people for rock climbing. So I think you won't get rock in the city. You'll get such recreational activities only in the village. Even going for waterfall hiking in Netravali or such things. So I don't agree with Ayush when he said that such recreational activities are only present in cities. On the other side, I feel cities create more wear and tear of the nature. For example, beach. Like it is so much industrialized, the beach surrounding and all, Panji also, like there is no good like the nature has been very much eroded in the process of like commercializing it. This is what I feel. And I did you ask any other question which I missed? I think you said something
Uh,
about a healthy fast food, right?
Healthy food and yeah.
Mm, okay, what I mean to say is in the city life there is like no time with people. Like people are very people are going there is a run, there is a
Hustle and
hustle, and can you get me the point?
hustle and bustle.
A hustle and bustle, but
Basically, yes.
in village life there is nothing as such like that, and people like consider it as like, even if you go to check at in statistics point of view, then more people from village side prepare more food at home as compared to the city people. Yeah, these were some of my points.
Yes, I those are the good points, but you are also neglecting the advantages of cities. Like cities provide you good opportunities. Mainly, people shift to the cities because of job opportunities, which are not always present in the villages. And also, like to reiterate the point about the rock climbing. Rock climbing was just one example. If someone who wants to learn swimming and who wants to continue it professionally, yes, I agree. In villages, lakes and others ponds can help you to learn swimming. But if you want to get professional in, you need some coaching or any guidance, which city can easily provide you because there are various coaches, there are various swimming pools usually in the cities, and also there are various trainers in all the sports and all the activities, which I don't think a village could provide in that much accessibilities. And also about the healthcare, you earlier mentioned about the Ayurvedic point that usually people in the villages are healthy, but they tend to survive. They have to switch to the cities because they need job. They indirectly help to boost the economy. So basically, my point was that cities will give you all these opportunities and help you to grow in life.
Okay, I have a counter question for you, Ayush. My question to you is, how do you when you have when you pictured city in your mind, like city is better than village, how do you look into plants and animals in this case, especially animals? Like, do you prefer zoo and all, or like you're killing their natural habitat? What do you have to say in this?
Okay. I agree that like buildings or zoo infrastructures can destroy the natural habitats. But to give an example, in Gujarat there is a park, not park, a not a wildlife sanctuary. It is like very big ecosystem for animals by Ambani,
Mumbai.
and there they preserve all the animals, and they also provide good facilities for the animals to for the healthcare. For example, for elephants, there are like similar what humans have like a jacuzzi. It is very similar to elephants, where they provide good facilities for animal and their treatment for their better care, and also they help like they help in preserving the very endangered animals. They are usually shifted from villages to these centers where they are taken better care of, and they can get better nutritional value also.
But not every city has such facility, right?
Uh, yes, not every city, but not every villages are also that good for animals, right? Some uh, not everyone will take good care of animals, right? Some people only care about themselves. Like the place, recent example, not recent example. I mean, one thing which I have noticed, there is a farm near my house. I live in the. I don't live in the city nor in the village. I am
Ta.
more like in the town.
Mm.
Yes, so there is a farm here, and some peacocks used to destroy their farm. So the villagers killed the peacocks directly. So not everyone take care. So there is not proper awareness in villages also sometimes, which is like usually city people are more aware of such stuff.
Okay. So one of the factor which Ayush mentioned is the opportunities in the cities, and it was his very core point which he was revolving entire debate on. What I have to say on this topic is, if we are not giving opportunities in the village, it is problem of the like government or the panchayat or whoever is involved in that. It is not the like, you can't kill the ideology of village for that for that consideration. So that is what I feel. So if there is anybody in the managerial side who has a good understanding of again it comes to that, like if there is good government who knows who can bring some opportunities in this village, like who know there are children in the village, there are more children, so he or she, the government in charge, can put more like swimming classes or something like that. The schools in the villages could be made more beneficial for the students. One another thing is healthcare, which you mentioned, and also the transport. uh, there should be good transport. If there is a transport is made good, that does not make a village into city, right? City is more like of buildings or something like uh, what I meant to say is there should be some opportunities in the village itself. Like uh, opportunities is not the only factor which is differentiating village and city. So this is what I would like to see.
uh, yes, as you mentioned or you criticize government, not it's not always the case. Government also has many incentives for villages also. For example, in the recent budget, there there was a makana board developed for BR where all the village people who produces makana were incentivized. And also in the recent budget also, like there was uh, kisan some yojana scheme for farmers to get loans. So government is in fact is helping villagers also, and there were many incentives taken in the for the agriculture sector, which is usually present in the villages. So you can't always blame government for everything, or the managerial aspect of it,
Yeah.
because
Sorry. Mm.
because okay. Okay.
Yeah, carry on, carry on.
Yes, you can't always blame government or the managers, because in this, as you said, the managers need to focus on the villages, but which is already present in the cities. So you can't neglect that point, because such incentives are already taken in city areas, and it is followed regularly.
Okay, my next question to you is another point that we did not cover is cities are more crowded, they are more noisy as compared to the village. So why do people, like for a holiday or weekend, why do people from cities go to the village or waterfall to recreate their time or have some fun incident when they have all the opportunities in the city itself?
Okay, those people who moves from villages to the city are usually for job opportunities, where they tend to work a lot. They tend to burn out. I agree. We need a break from our uh, daily work life, and a change in scenario or change in environment will help it. So, if you all your life live in the city, you won't get that benefits. I agree. There are wellness centers in cities which can help, but I agree that nature is always a big part in human life, and that's why we people usually tend to go to vacations. Uh, yes, so basically, even village people go from villages to villages. They don't only stick to their village, right? They also need some time off, and they also uh, need to rely on other villages also to. Suppose if there are some ingredients which are not produced in the that village, then they have to move to the other villages. They have to take help of other villages. So uh, you can't always say that village is better for that, and everyone needs help. And now suppose if in the villages, if someone falls ill and there is not good facilities for healthcare, in such scenarios a city will help you. A city hospital or a well qualified doctor can definitely help you. That time you cannot say like, why do villagers move to the city for treatment? They can use the ayurvedic stuff for treatment.
Nice point. Do you have any other question to me, Ayush?
वो आंसर करवा
What was your question? I'm so sorry. I did not get your question. I thought you were
No,
answering.
it's fine. It was more like a counterpoint.
Uh-huh.
So, no, I think we can move to discussion if you don't have any more questions. I don't have any more questions. How do you look at the pollution side, which city in the city as compared to Uh,
village? Because village are more cleaner than city, right? So how do you nullify the, like how do you reverse the effect which city has created on the environment?
so first we have to consider why this pollution happens.
Mhm.
This pollution usually comes from the industrial areas where people are employed. We provide job to the people, and this job also feeds their family, which the money can also go back to the villages. Yes, the pollution is a part of it, but we have to take good incentives like alternate. We have to consider alternate energies, alternate for cleaner energies, and some in case if there is a some proper wastage disposal disposition is not done, then it should be they should be fined and strict action should be taken against them. By following these mm, solutions, I think it can be controlled. But yes, it's not a easy solution. Uh, it's a step by step process, and it will definitely take time.
Okay. I had. Do
I
you have
also
any?
I want to ask you one thing.
Uh-huh.
You mentioned so much about the villages,
Mhm.
and how will you just
Uh,
how will you argue against that point that cities provide you more opportunities where people are employed well, and this employment helps to grow the economy of India?
how employed well? Can you give me any example by stating the employed people? Like, are you more focused on the doctors or some other side?
No, in general, like all these sectors, for IT sector, healthcare, industrial area, everything.
Mm, if I speak in a generic way, like if I stick to some doctor, okay, I'll try with an example first, and then I'll go in a generic way. I think if a
Sure.
doctor is there in the village itself, like there is one building, like in a village, having one building is not making it a city, right? So if a doctor is there in the one building, and like he or she have that like provides that mm, that facility, then I think the people from the village does not need to go to the city side. What problem I
Okay,
have
just to
with this?
counter one point. Okay, okay, go on.
What problem I have with the city is it being concrete jungle, and it is not having like connect with the nature. That is my problem. My problem is not the opportunities. I think the same opportunities can be in the village also. Since it has been the trend that like there are more people in the going in the cities, so people establish their services in the cities, so they have more connect to the people. It is not the other way around. If there is a good even now that you have mentioned so much about that government is doing so many things, I will also restate. I will also add to that point that yes, government is doing a lot of things. Like they are bringing the internet, they are bringing transport, they are bringing all the facilities in the village itself. But since the people are moving into the cities, I think it has become like more easier for anybody to establish their business there. I don't think that good doctor can only be in the city. He or she can also be in one village. What I mean to like the whole point of my debate is I want to promote the ideology of having village and not the city. And this is my generic answer to whatever like many things you have mentioned in the question.
Uh, Adding to just your example where you mentioned that in a village there could be a one building or a hospital where the doctors can help the patient, but then doctors also need some medicine, and this medicine should also come from some factories, right? And if you need that medicine in the village only, then it will become a city, right?
Mhm.
So the raw materials for the pharmaceutical products or the syringes or everything needs to be produced somewhere in some form. Just the one building cannot produce that, right? So uh, now you just said that we need only one building for that, but
Mhm.
now you will say we need one building for the raw material, and that raw material will also need some other raw material, and it will go on in a chain, and your village will also become a city, right?
Uh, yes, that is actually a good point that you mentioned, Ayush. Um, but yes, that is a good point that you mentioned that it will eventually turn out to be a city, and the yes, yeah, I do not have any counterpoint right now to tell you. Yes, sorry.
Okay, I will try to counter it. Let's think something. Let's move on to GD now.
Conclude the your topic, conclude my topic, and then we'll move to GD.
No, that after the GD, right? Like a common conclusion for both.
No, no, I'm saying you conclude your part, I'm concluding my part, and then we'll go to GD.
Okay, sure, sure. So, speaking from the city, to conclude, why cities are very good to live, because they provide you a better opportunities, better infrastructure for learning new things, better transport facilities, better health facilities. There are so many good things about city, and it creates job opportunities, hence helping the growth in the economy, growth
Uh,
of the economy.
okay. So speaking about villages, I feel villages is the best form of lifestyle. Only um, even there are many opportunities in the villages also, and like there is more growth of culture. There's more growth of like people unity. There's more connect to the plants and animals. So I really feel the village lifestyle is better than city lifestyle. Going to the GD. Yes. So uh, one question like, do you have any answer to the question which you have said like the village will eventually become a city?
Uh, One possible solution could be, but maybe not very practical. We need some production of the raw materials or the syringes. We can have only these factories in only the certain part of India, like which will cover all the major cities of India.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe like the, for example, we can have in the all the metro cities like Mumbai, Delhi, Kolkata, and uh, somewhere in southeast, northeastern part. And this these 4 or 5 factories can be a huge factories which will produce all the goods and will distribute among all the parts of India.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe like a proper hierarchical structure. Only main building or the main production will be some 4 or 5 places,
Mm-hmm.
and they will distribute in a good hierarchical structure.
Yes,
Maybe
this
this
would have been
is,
a
I
good
think.
answer. Yes, even I agree this
But
point.
again, if you have said this, I would have countered this by saying like to transport you also need better road facilities, and to create road facilities you again need raw materials for that. Then also to make better transport, we need to have railway system or better railway tracks. To again build that, we need to somehow destroy the biodiversity. Right?
Okay, yes, it would have gone in
So
loop.
you can't really. That's one thing I could have thought of, but okay, never
Okay,
mind.
yes, yes. Uh, any other points we have to discuss on?
I think we can say that we cannot like completely move to the city or completely move to the village side.
Mm-hmm.
There should be a healthy balance between both,
Between both, yeah.
where like first of all the challenges in the cities like pollution or congested lifestyle can be solved easily by having stricter norms or strict government incentives or strict restrictions for the pollution part.
Mm-hmm.
And also we can foster any community type of uh, community driven initiatives where people come together, share their thoughts, and such things could be built more easily in the cities.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what about the opportunities in the village? What do you have any input in the opportunities in the village? Like I mentioned about like in the schools and all, there should be some programs. But then if you go for healthcare and IT service, will is there any like potential to build that in the village? Because if you bring it here, it is a turning it is killing the concept of village.
Yes.
So there could be like as we have said, there could be some certain, no, it's like a deadlock.
Okay. To like answer this, I think a possible solution could be. Uh, Again, we don't need
How
like a
do
huge infrastructure for that.
sorry
Yeah.
how does country like Bhutan work? Like how is the IT in there? Because it is very much into like village. Is there no
Uh,
IT there? There should be, right?
I'm not aware of Bhutan, but I can give example of Japan because Japan is already a developed nation,
Uh-huh.
but they also have preserved
Villages.
their culture and their heritage
Uh-huh.
because I think there should be a fine line between what is called a village and what is a city. And I can't really think of any
Mm-hmm.
solution to that. My point only.
Uh, a point which I forgot to mention about city life is city life tends to be more westernized very soon, and they've tried to forget their culture. I should have little emphasized on this.
Yes, as I mentioned earlier, some community-driven
It
initiatives will be taken
should be
to
taken.
preserve
Mm-hmm.
the heritage, or some functions or some cultural events should be promoted where
Mm-hmm.
people have to learn about their culture and present their culture to a group of society or some audience,
Yes,
to
yes.
preserve it and also to develop this for their future generation itself.
Okay.
And I think the good solution about the villages turning into cities
Mm-hmm.
is, I think it's not really necessary for every villages to have those large infrastructure. They can import it from all the city areas. So I think having a good transportation is a good solution to it,
Mm-hmm.
because I agree that even building transportation will affect the biodiversity, or the nature or the green side of the village. But it's a trade-off. We can't have
Like everything, yes.
everything, right?
Yes, yes, yes. Yeah, transportation and maybe internet facility, the two
Yes,
is
internet facilities and transportation is, I think, a good solution for both.
solution. Yes,
Because,
like if
yeah,
there is, there will be
and
some
speaking,
nearby cities, right? So the person can
yes, we
travel
can
there and
always
stay
move
there.
to the
Yes,
closest city.
yes.
Like it should be built
And
in a
even job now can be like many are turning into work from home, so it's good. Like
yeah.
that could happen that point.
About the internet part, I think currently India is doing pretty well. Almost 80% of Indian population have internet
Internet,
access,
yes, yes.
and I
I
think
think the
about
same
building
number
the
is in the world side also, 80%.
okay,
Yeah,
asking or telling.
telling.
Okay. And about building the factories or such stuff, I think it should be geographical area should be taken into consideration, and we don't need every industrial area concentrated at one place.
Mhm,
Like it
yes.
should be situated at a like a well distance between all those factories,
One
so that it is
answer,
connected by all the places.
just a second. Nanu, Mashara. One counter answer which I could have done for your question about the raw materials and all stuff, I would have answered a question. Question: does one city have all the raw materials? It is also importing from somewhere, right? I could have asked you this.
I mean, we can only build stuff where the resources are like present. So, as I mentioned earlier about the industry should be made in such a taking the geographical
Part
point of view
in the concentration.
into the consideration, where the resources are like in the good quantity, and we don't need to like build a lot of stuff just to have only certain type of resources.
Mhm. Yes, that is our jury and the debate. Do you have anything to add, or shall we go to the chat GPT and the feedback?
Yeah, I think we also concluded some of some. So I think
Yes.
we can move to the chat GPT. Before that, let's share any feedbacks.
Feedback I have with me. I was very dry today. Like I think I was over cautious, some conscious, and like
Same thing.
at one point I lost my
Conscious.
entire energy, and I was like, okay, okay, let it go, which is a very bad sign, and I have to conquer it. About you, I think that was a very plus question. Like when, like I almost gave up at that point, and there you. Uh,
Yeah,
from that
yeah.
I
I
was.
would suggest.
Mm,
Yeah, that was like a turning. Even in like my interview experience and all my learnings,
uh-huh,
interviewers tend to ask you some questions which are like almost not answerable,
uh-huh,
and most of the candidates at such questions loses their confidence.
uh-huh,
I have seen many mock interviews,
uh-huh.
and like it's a very important learning,
It's
which
a
I
very
think
important learning. I'm glad
forget
that
about
it
the
happened.
GD part.
No,
Forget
for
about
the
the GD
future,
part. Just in
anywhere.
general advice. Like I've seen many mock interviews where if a student is not able to answer one or two questions in a row, then their confidence level drops drastically, and you can notice it like while they are speaking.
Yes,
Like
yes.
earlier, they were speaking in a good symmetrical tone and very positive tone, but after that, the energy and the enthusiasm suddenly drops, and
Drops,
it's
drops.
very much noticeable by the interviewer or anyone who is
I
currently
think
judging you.
same thing happened to me. Like I was feeling that.
Kind of.
Yeah. Uh,
Like for me today, I think the start wasn't good. I
yeah,
like
your start was very
personally,
bad.
I believe
Like you
I
spoke just
personally
two three points, and then later you just countered my points.
yes. Uh, like if such scenario happened with me in the city, I would have never started the topic because I could counter the points more easily.
Mm-hmm.
And I like it was more like a personal bias for me that I wasn't. I like I personally prefer village side, and so it was difficult to speak about the city. Like while I was also thinking about the points in the city, the only point that was coming to mind is the pollution, 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 and Delhi air pollution was coming uh,
Funny
on my
thing,
mind that
yes,
time.
I could have spoken more about like given real city examples like Delhi and all, which I should
Yeah,
have.
yeah.
I should have.
It's, like my GIM wet like essay. There was a essay writing for GIM college.
Mm-hmm.
My topic was about sustainability, a buzzword or something like that about sustainability. I gave an example about Delhi air pollution,
Mm-hmm.
and also I gave example of. Are you aware of this guy John Bryanson? Someone like who is trying to promote like reverse the aging, something like that
Ah,
sort,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
and
I
all
know
the
him. I
health.
know him. He came in
Branson, I forgot his name again. Yeah, he came in that podcast of
podcast.
Nikhil
Zerodha
Kamath,
Nikhil Kamath. Yeah.
Zero Fund. I gave his example and I mentioned about the Delhi pollution. He was wearing the mask. So sustainability is not a buzzword, it's a serious issue.
It's
Like
a
that,
series.
I think that's why my GIM was that so easily selected. But
Uh-huh.
okay, never mind. Coming back to the
Also, the
topic.
forest which you mentioned, is it Vantara?
Yes, yes, Mantara. It's in Gujarat.
Uh-huh.
I recently saw one video, but I like wasn't aware of what to call it exactly.
Uh-huh. Yesterday there was some
And
news like Ambani was like he stopped one chicken truck and told to take the all chickens back because it was yeah, yeah. But then
like
people were
there was a
roasting
case
him like
study
they will eat
there was a case
non-veg and
study on the similar one that I saw one video because uh, like there were some points mentioned like they it's like a very big private zoo of Ambani's only, but they're also doing a good thing.
they
So
are
we
doing
can't
very good thing.
really
You know the people I'm if I'm not mistaken it's Kenya, like people were eating elephants or like killing them for some like because there were no resources, but then these people were feeding them. I'm not very sure, but they had done some good work in the Africa also, the Vantara people.
no but to like that Vadodara, what is that?
Vantara, I guess.
Vantara. Okay, so like in that video, he mentioned that they are like forcefully taking animals from Kenya and other
Oh,
African countries,
oh,
even if they are very endangered. They think that here they will like do better, but they like if you want to counter someone, you can bring all the negative sides, like
yes,
ignoring
yes,
all the positive sides. So
yes.
it's easy to counter any good initiatives. Uh, like that's not the like coming back to the feedback. I think my start was very bad. I like wasn't able to think anything. It was
Yes.
also the case in my first group discussion. And
One thing I would like to say about you, you have few points in mind, but then you have a good like are not
counter
arguing but countering skills. Like
counterpoints. I
whatever some I'll say you somehow try to find the weaknesses in that and talk because you
yeah
did not mention many points as such. Like
yeah.
mostly
I believe
you
I agree with
focused
this
on
point
the
because
opportunity point of view. Maybe the topic was such, but yeah.
yeah because of the topic I will say, but also in general I'm not able to think like a good points. But if someone is
But you deal very
speaking,
well.
then I can counter those points easily. It's
Yes, yes, you deal very well.
you just have to listen and from personal experience you have to add some points.
Yes. So maybe you'll have to work on making more points. I'll have to work on how to deal with certain situations.
Yeah,
Yes.
such situation. I think my problem is more of from the knowledge side. I need to read more stuff and like I need to come up with good points and
Yes.
some statistical point also.
Yesterday, did you read the message which I sent? Like, if you overthink, write. If you underthink, read.
No, but I have read this before.
Uh-huh.
Did you send me this?
Yes, yes. I sent in the vocab group.
Okay, no, I
Uh-huh.
haven't checked, but I am aware of this. I have
Okay,
read this
okay,
somewhere.
okay. So
So
shall we go on the Gemini now?
yeah,
Yes. Do you have
yeah.
anything
Okay,
to add?
so
Feedback? You were saying something. So
uh, feedback. I think today we were like more competitive compared to last time,
yes, yes,
and
yes.
I think in a good way. Like
In a
since
good way.
this
In a
was a
good
debate,
way. Mhm.
I think we can also like.
Can I give you one
I
minute
was
to think in my perspective what you would have added more, and I'll do the same for you? Like what I would have added in the city side. Like,
okay. So like should I given some examples about the Delhi pollution and
hmm
everything? Like it's like very degraded. And again, that John Branson, forgot his name, Jacobson Branson, someone, that guy's example maybe.
Yeah, examples were
That
different.
and advantages of villages. I think you covered most of the points. You spoke about some 7 points, right?
Yeah, yeah, 7 8 points. About
But
city.
again, like yours, few points are like very much redundant. You mentioned about
Uh-huh.
health first and then about the fast food.
Yes, yes,
Combine
yes.
that into a single point, because
Single point. See.
just speaking 7 points feels like very tedious and not
Yeah.
tedious, but like from interviewers point of view, I'm saying
Uh-huh.
their attention span is very much less. They won't remember your every point,
Yes, yes.
so they will only pick up like at what you spoke at the start or at the end, and something 1 or 2 points in the middle. So
And
like try to don't
more.
say 7 or 8 points. Like 3 to 4 points are more than enough. Combine those points, I will suggest.
Yeah, I agree to you, but I have another like point to mention. Like if I am having 5 points, and if 3 4 points are redundant, then the interviewer will have a mindset like I'm just speaking on redundant topics. So even if I speak 10, he will have that in my mind, in his mind. But if all the points are different, then the like ideal, then the concept then his understanding will be different. You are not audible, Ayush.
Uh, Again, this varies from person to
Person.
person. So
Yes.
but like most of the people in the, at least from my point of view, I'm saying like all the interviewers who
Uh-huh.
I have noticed,
Uh-huh.
they don't pay too much attention. They only pick up like your mostly the last point you are saying, and they will ask you a question from that, or something from your start, or like very catchy point in your introduction or anything. They will pick like if you speak like 7 or 8 points, they will already forgotten like
Ah.
they will only remember the last 2 points
Uh-huh.
and
Mm.
won't remember the starting point.
Static.
So I don't think they will consider it as a redundant, but I think you should speak only 3 or 4 points. But
Oh,
again, this varies from person to
person to
person.
person.
Whatever you feel
Mm-hmm.
best, you can do. But
Mm-hmm.
this is my suggestion to
Yes.
like condense those points and
Yes.
yeah, pretty much.
Yes.
Because again, if you speak like for this example, you separated the point of health and food.
Yeah, yeah, that I
Again,
agree. That was very
again
redundant.
they will even though you have like mentioned like 2 3 4 5, but they will again feel like that is redundant only, right?
Yes,
So
yes.
speaking in the one point, I think it's better because they will think that it is only single point and you are covering everything like that,
Mm-hmm.
maybe.
Let's go to
So
Gemini.
yes.
One more point I had in mind. I wanted to say that even many of the resources from for the cities come from the village. Like for
From
example,
the
many
village.
food.
Yes.
I had this in mind, but then I forgot while asking you the question.
So uh, what was the topic? City
Village
versus
versus village versus city.
countryside. Okay,
Oh,
villages only.
yeah.
Countryside sounds better. Okay, we spoke about villages only,
No,
right? So
anything. Is there any difference between both countryside and village?
countryside and uh, countryside. When I hear the word countryside, I think more about like very big area, like massive area. When I hear the word village, I consider more from the point of like civilization, where there are like many people staying together. Whereas in
Okay.
the countryside, like it's a big massive area and very few people living together.
Uh-huh.
We will check what is
Yeah, we'll check.
difference,
We'll check.
but that is my point. City versus which is give for and against.
More
City versus village is for and against for city life.
better.
Okay, more job opportunities is also higher salaries. Okay, I think this was covered fully.
Yeah, this
Like
was
I
good.
mentioned about
Yes.
salaries also. Oh, education. We missed it. I missed this point.
Mm-hmm. Uh,
I mentioned about
you mentioned it like
healthcare and
yes, yes.
like I mentioned about the sports activities, not like the educational
Uh-huh.
part. Educational is like very important, right? Like in the
Mm-hmm.
villages, you would have like good institution. better education cities, higher concentration of education colleges. Yeah, better colleges and better universities. Okay, healthcare, specialized doctor. This thing
You
should
mentioned.
have mentioned more about the specialized doctor, like
You should have mentioned.
specific operations and very cancer treatment and such stuff. Extensive entertainment, cultural activities.
Even I think I should have stuck been more like rigid. Like even there are many transportation in the village also, like Mopa Airport. The airport is in the
Hmm.
village side, so I should have been little stricter with my topic. I guess I took it
Yeah,
very lightly at that point.
that drop.
That
Yeah,
no point. Yes, yes, yes.
I think this was covered.
Even the education I would have countered, like there is NIT in the Kunkuri, then IIT is getting built in Sange, so they are picking the village side because it is more calmer as compared to the, like I could have countered you in a very nice way, but then
No, but
that
again,
point, critical point. Yeah.
like for like again, if you are saying that some good institution if are in the villages side, then
Uh-huh.
I would have countered by saying like we need to accommodate a lot of students, and for them we need some good like food facilities and other stuff. Like so, I think it will somehow turn into the city side only.
Uh-huh.
Kind not city side, but kind of
I got what you are saying. Like if there are
yeah,
more students coming there, there'll be some outlets like subway and all in the
yeah,
surrounding areas. Diversity.
public transportation.
What is cosmopolitan? I got.
Okay, this was a good point. If you're saying about the pollution part, then I could have mentioned about the public transportation promoted or the subways or railways, trains,
Yes, it
making
was a
it
good.
easier to transport without personal vehicle. Though it's not followed everywhere,
Yeah,
but still it was a good point.
good point.
Cosmopolitans, environment. Okay, this was a very good point, right? We completely forgot that. Like people from all the diversity come together, right?
Hmm.
In the cities. So in the
Better
villages, there
network.
only certain culture will be available, but in the cities, various kind of from all over the place. So basically, you can see all the
It was
cultures.
a very good point.
Very good point.
Hmm.
I completely missed it. This is again like reiteration of same point. Okay,
Ah,
higher cost of living. This was a good point,
best
right?
point. Best point.
Completely missed it.
Crowding.
Like if I had said like cities provide better salaries opportunities, then could
I could
also
have.
mention that also high cost of living,
Yes, 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 yes. I missed it.
crowding
Crowding.
and like this was covered.
Hmm.
Higher level of pollution, this was covered. Stressful life, this was also covered. Right?
Stress. I did not mention more about stress. No, I did not stress it
You
on.
like, yeah, you didn't stress on stress.
Lower sense of community.
Okay.
Again, I did not stress it. Like I
Like you
stressed more on
count,
the redundant points. I feel.
you spoke about the community, but you spoke it in a good way, not in a
Meaning,
lower sense of community.
meaning
And okay, this is against the
against
city life,
city.
not
Yes,
supporting the village life.
yes. Higher crime rates. This is one point I
Higher
forgot.
crime rates.
In city,
Yeah, this was a
yes,
good point.
this was a good point.
Limited green spaces. Okay. Peaceful, tranquil environment. You mentioned this. Okay, you mentioned this one. Strong sense of community, closer connection to nature, lower cost of living. This was a good point.
Mm-hmm.
Safe environment. I won't really agree with this point. Like lower, not necessarily it is always true.
Yes, yes. Even I, it is more scarier to be in
Well,
village sometimes. Like very,
yeah,
very lonely
less safe.
village. Hmm.
Also, I could given you example about the panchayat, like village panchayat happens, right? Like you, village politics.
Hmm.
Have you seen panchayat?
No, no, I haven't.
Yeah, good enough. Pressure air,
Unless.
more space and privacy. Okay, privacy point. Maybe I think this is a good point. More space and privacy, which is not possible usually in villages.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, in cities. Immediate job opportunities, fewer education restriction, poor public transport.
What is amenities?
Amenities are like, I will give you an example. So, in if you are going in a hotel, like a place to sleep, not a eating restaurant,
Mm-hmm.
not a restaurant or hotel.
Uh-huh.
Amenities are like towels, shampoos, brush,
Okay,
pillows,
okay.
charging facilities.
Got
Those are amenities.
amenities.
Potential for social isolation.
You could have
I
stress
think
on
we
the
covered
development point. There's less development, there's less research, like those kind of factors. You
less
could,
opportunities, maybe.
less opportunity. You said no, like there's people don't have much technology and they like don't upgrade themselves. You could have mentioned that.
Hmm. Yeah, this was a good point.
This
Like
was a good
there is not so much awareness also.
aware. So yeah, that was it.
Yeah.
Yep, it was a good day.
Okay.
Good debate.
One thing, countryside versus village.
Mhm.
Yes. Yeah, it's correct what I mentioned.
Even
So
I feel so.
countryside are like rural areas, but natural landscape and farm fields, forests, such like not a civilized place.
Mm-hmm.
Geographical area, then and natural agriculture. Countryside may contain not the definition of it. Okay, more general term, small settlement of community.
Have you
Okay.
heard that song "Country Roads"?
No. Okay.
Okay, that is it. Yes, it was a
Yeah.
good day. Chalo. Bye, huh? Done, right?
Yes.
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 Take care.
Yes.
Bye.
You were recording, right?
Yeah, yeah. Stop share करता